Get ready because the news cycle is absolutely exploding, and we've got the latest, most electrifying updates to keep you ahead of the curve. We're diving deep into how your favorite tech is being made, and a seismic shift could be underway that impacts your next device. Imagine robots taking the reins in manufacturing, and Apple potentially making this the new standard. What does this mean for production, innovation, and the devices we rely on every single day? This is a massive development you'll want to understand. Next up, we're tackling a story that's hitting close to home for millions. Your iPhone 12 is getting a critical update across the entire European Union, all aimed at addressing radiation levels and ensuring compliance with health standards. We'll break down exactly what this means for users, why this update is necessary, and the fascinating regulatory dance that led to this widespread change. Get the full scoop on this important tech news. Now, let's talk about the big money moves. The legendary Warren Buffett has been making waves with his investment portfolio, and his latest decisions are turning heads. We're talking about a significant sell-off of a tech giant stock, coupled with a bold move into a completely different sector. What's driving these strategic shifts, and what can we learn from one of the greatest investors of all time about where the real value lies? And finally, we're turning our attention to the fields where our food begins. With peak picking season upon us, the impact of dry weather on a beloved fruit is a major concern for farmers and consumers alike. We'll explore the challenges, the potential effects on quality and availability, and how growers are adapting to keep the harvest coming. Stay locked in for all these crucial updates and more. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a beat. Robots are coming for your iPhone assembly line. This development signals a significant potential shift in how consumer electronics are manufactured, with major implications for production efficiency, quality control, and the global workforce. Imagine a future where the device in your hand, the sleek iPhone you rely on daily, is assembled not by human hands, but by an army of highly precise robots. This isn't science fiction anymore. It's rapidly becoming a reality, and Apple may be the driving force behind this manufacturing revolution. Reports are emerging that Apple is aggressively pushing for greater automation across its entire supply chain, with suggestions that the company might even be mandating the use of robots for the production of its iconic iPhones. This strategic pivot towards automation is not just about embracing new technology. It's a calculated move to potentially enhance efficiency, reduce costs, and maintain its competitive edge in the fiercely contested smartphone market. The implications are vast, touching upon everything from the speed and consistency of production to the very nature of manufacturing jobs. As Apple explores and implements these advanced robotic systems, it sets a precedent for the rest of the industry, potentially ushering in a new era of hyper-automated electronics manufacturing. The company's commitment to innovation extends beyond the software and design of its products. It now appears to be deeply invested in the very mechanisms that bring these devices to life. This move could lead to unparalleled levels of precision and quality control, as robots can perform tasks with a consistency that human workers, no matter how skilled, might struggle to match over long production runs. Furthermore, increased automation could allow for more flexible production lines, enabling quicker responses to market demands and a more streamlined introduction of new product iterations. However, this technological leap also raises important questions about the future of labor in manufacturing hubs, the investment required for such advanced systems, and the potential impact on the global economic landscape. The push for robotics is likely driven by a desire to mitigate risks associated with labor availability, rising wages, and the need for unwavering quality. Apple's influence is so profound that its adoption of such a widespread automation strategy could compel other major manufacturers to follow suit, creating a ripple effect throughout the electronics industry. The transition to a robot-led assembly line is a complex undertaking, involving not only the hardware, but also the sophisticated software and artificial intelligence that will power these machines. It represents a significant investment in the future of manufacturing, aiming to create a more resilient, efficient, and technologically advanced production ecosystem. The conversation around this potential shift is already generating buzz among industry analysts and tech enthusiasts, eager to understand the full scope of Apple's automation ambitions and how they will reshape the landscape of consumer electronics production. Industry observers are buzzing about Apple's potential mandate for robotics, seeing it as a major industry trendsetter. The move is widely seen as a strategic imperative for maintaining market dominance and driving future innovation in production. But what happens when the tech inside your phone needs a critical fix? We'll tell you next. Next up, we're diving into a major update affecting millions of iPhone 12 users across the EU. Your iPhone 12 is getting an EU-wide radiation update. This crucial software update addresses radiation levels in the iPhone 12, bringing it into compliance with European Union health standards, a move that follows regulatory scrutiny in France. Apple is preparing to roll out a significant software update for its iPhone 12 models, specifically for users throughout the European Union. The primary objective of this update is to reduce radiation levels emitted by the devices, ensuring they align with the bloc's established health standards. This initiative mirrors a similar adjustment Apple made in September 2023 for France, where the iPhone 12 was found to exceed the permissible limits for electromagnetic absorption by the body. The French regulatory agency, Agence Française Nationale des Fréquences, ANFR, had previously ordered Apple to halt sales of the iPhone 12 in the country and to rectify existing devices to comply with European electromagnetic radiation regulations. The European Commission has now officially endorsed France's initial regulatory stance, deeming it justified, which paves the way for this broader EU-wide software update. Apple has confirmed that the update will be disseminated across all 27 EU member states in the coming weeks. Interestingly, Apple implemented the French update while publicly contesting the methodology used by the French regulators. The company argued that the ANFR's testing protocol did not adequately account for the iPhone's off-body detection mechanism, a feature Apple asserted had been rigorously tested and internationally verified as an effective means of complying with specific absorption rate (SAR) requirements. Despite its continued disagreement with the French testing approach, Apple stated its respect for the European Commission's decision and assured customers that their iPhone 12 devices remain safe and reliable. This situation highlights the complex interplay between technological innovation, regulatory oversight, and public health concerns within the global consumer electronics market. The differing interpretations of testing protocols and compliance standards underscore the challenges faced by both manufacturers and regulatory bodies in ensuring that electronic devices meet safety benchmarks while also pushing the boundaries of technological advancement. The EU's proactive approach to regulating radiation levels reflects a broader trend towards stricter consumer protection measures in the digital age. For iPhone 12 users in the EU, this update signifies Apple's commitment to addressing regulatory concerns and maintaining consumer trust, even as it navigates the intricacies of international compliance and testing standards. The company's willingness to issue a widespread update, despite its reservations about the testing methods, demonstrates a pragmatic approach to market access and consumer satisfaction across diverse regulatory landscapes. The rollout of this software fix is a critical step in ensuring that the iPhone 12 remains compliant with the diverse and evolving health and safety regulations across the European Union. Users are discussing the implications of the update, with many expressing relief that Apple is addressing the issue proactively. Analysts are watching closely to see if this sets a precedent for future device regulations in other regions. Now, let's shift gears and look at how the financial titans are playing the market. Next, we're exploring a major investment move by Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett shifts strategy, sells Apple, buys restaurant stock. Legendary investor Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway has trimmed its Apple stake significantly while increasing its investment in Domino's Pizza, signaling a potential shift in his portfolio strategy. Warren Buffett, a name synonymous with investment prowess and a disciplined, value-oriented approach, continues to be a keenly watched figure in the financial world. His firm, Berkshire Hathaway, has once again made notable adjustments to its investment portfolio, with co-investment managers Todd Combs and Ted Weschler leading the charge. In the second quarter, the duo continued their strategy of reducing their substantial holdings in Apple Inc. AAPL, having now cut the position by an impressive 69% since they first began selling shares in the third quarter of 2023. Concurrently, Buffett and his team have been steadily increasing their investment in Domino's Pizza, DPZ, marking the third consecutive quarter of buying shares in the fast food giant. This move is particularly noteworthy given Domino's remarkable performance, with its stock having delivered a staggering return of 4,270% since 2005. Investors are naturally keen to understand the rationale behind these strategic maneuvers, especially considering Apple's status as a cornerstone of Berkshire's portfolio for years. Apple recently reported strong financial results for its June quarter, exceeding top and bottom line estimates with a 10% revenue increase to $94 billion, its fastest growth pace since 2021, largely driven by robust iPhone and services segment performance. The core investment thesis for Apple revolves around its unparalleled brand authority, stemming from its integrated hardware and software design expertise, which grants it significant pricing power. Apple dominates the smartphone market in sales, with the average iPhone commanding 3 times the price of a typical Samsung phone. Furthermore, its vast installed base of over 2.3 billion devices positions it well to capitalize on the artificial intelligence trend, although its progress in this area is still unfolding. However, Apple faces several challenges. The Digital Markets Act in Europe will mandate the allowance of third-party app stores on its devices, potentially impacting services revenue. An ongoing antitrust lawsuit against Alphabet could also affect Apple's ability to secure lucrative deals, such as making Google the default search engine, which analysts estimate could reduce pre-tax profits by 7%. Adding to these concerns is Apple's valuation. With earnings projected to grow at 10% annually over the next 3 years, its current valuation at 35 times earnings appears expensive, especially when compared to peers like Amazon, Nvidia, and Alphabet, which have lower price-to-earnings-to-growth (PEG) ratios. In contrast, Domino's Pizza also posted encouraging second-quarter results, with revenue up 4% to $1.1 billion, driven by solid same-store sales growth and new store openings. While GAAP earnings saw a dip due to investment losses, operating income rose 15%. Domino's investment thesis is built on its massive scale and brand recognition, operating over 21,500 stores globally. Its technological leadership, including AI for order quality and sentiment tracking, has consistently driven same-store sales ahead of competitors. The company's Hungry for More strategy aims for significant retail and operating income growth through 2028, bolstered by new store openings and menu innovations. Wall Street anticipates 10% annual earnings growth for Domino's, yet its current valuation also appears somewhat stretched. Buffett's move, while indicating confidence in Domino's, suggests a cautious approach given its valuation, advising investors to keep positions small if following his lead. Buffett's decision to trim Apple shares and invest in Domino's is sparking considerable debate among investors about future market trends. Many are analyzing his moves for clues on sector rotation and long-term value plays. As the financial markets shift, so do the essential resources that support our daily lives. Next, we're turning to the fields to see how the weather is impacting a favorite fruit. Dry spell puts Maine apple picking season at risk. Maine apple farmers are facing challenges due to a significant lack of rainfall, potentially impacting the size and quality of apples during the crucial peak picking season. As the crisp air of autumn approaches, apple orchards across Maine are gearing up for their busiest period, but a persistent dry spell is casting a shadow over the anticipated peak picking season, which typically runs from mid-September through the first week of October. Farmers like Greg Sweetser, owner of Sweetser's Apple Barrel and Orchard in Cumberland, are working diligently to irrigate their crops, as agriculture generally relies on about an inch of rain per week to ensure optimal fruit development. Reports from News Center Maine indicate that southern Maine has experienced rainfall deficits of up to 3 inches below average over the past month, a situation that could have considerable consequences for the apple harvest. The primary concern for growers is the size of the apples. Insufficient water during the critical growth stages can lead to smaller fruits, which are often less desirable for consumers and can impact sales. Beyond just size, the lack of adequate water also affects the overall health of the apple trees themselves and their ability to form fruit buds for the following season. Greg Sweetser explains that the current period is vital for the development of next year's fruit buds, and these buds require consistent water and nutrition to mature properly before winter sets in. If these buds are not adequately nourished this fall, it could result in a reduced yield in the spring. Sweetser, who cultivates over 70 varieties of apples, relies on an established irrigation system, including a well drilled in 2010, to ensure his orchard receives the necessary water supply. While he acknowledges the expense of running irrigation pumps, he emphasizes the importance of having a reliable water source to adapt to weather patterns. Farmers across Maine, we adapt to whatever the weather gives us on any day on any week, Sweetser stated, highlighting the resilience and adaptability of the agricultural community. Interestingly, the dry weather has presented some unexpected benefits. The reduced moisture has helped suppress the incidence of apple scab, a common fungal disease that can blacken leaves and affect fruit quality. Sweetser noted that spore counts for this fungus are significantly lower this year due to the dry conditions, contributing to a high-quality crop in terms of disease resistance. This highlights the complex relationship between weather patterns and agricultural outcomes, where challenges in one area can sometimes lead to advantages in another. The ongoing efforts to manage irrigation underscore the increasing importance of water management strategies in agriculture, especially in regions prone to unpredictable weather. Farmers are constantly seeking ways to balance the need for water with the costs and environmental considerations of irrigation, adapting their practices to ensure both the current harvest and the long-term health of their orchards. Orchard owners are emphasizing the need for careful water management, while consumers are expressing concern about potential price increases or reduced availability of certain apple varieties. And that wraps up our deep dive into these major stories. Now, let's quickly recap the biggest headlines of the day. That's a wrap on today's essential updates. We saw how robots could be building your next iPhone, Apple pushing an EU-wide radiation fix for the iPhone 12, Warren Buffett making big investment moves by selling Apple and buying Domino's, and the impact of dry weather on Maine's apple harvest. Don't miss out on future insights. Hit that like button, subscribe to iPad Focus, ring the notification bell, share your thoughts in the comments, and follow us on all social platforms for more exclusive content.